Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Christy Vann with VANNtastic Finances, and on this channel I teach velocity banking. But I wanted to bring a special video to you today because I want you guys to realize where VANNtastic started. You see the videos now, we're over 2 years in, you see we have thousands of videos up, and it's very, very successful. But where did that start? And I want to introduce Alex Albarran to you. You've probably seen him on my channel before, but I don't really bring him up front like I want to today. I want you guys to realize that VANNtastic had a starting place with a coach, and here he is. Alex, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us today.
Christy, no, thanks so much for having me on. I always love talking to and working with your fantastic audience. And so no, thanks so much for having me on. And I can't lay claim to the VANNtastic name. That was Christy's idea. I said, hey, just go by Christy Van Finances or something. But she said VANNtastic Finances. So yeah, I helped you start the business, but the name you had that's like a once in a million name right there.
Well, I have to give that to my husband because when we started dating, I was like, this is fantastic. I literally had no idea about the YouTube channel or anything with that name, but it just seemed like a fantastic idea, and here
Mhm.
we are. So, Alex, I just wanted to let the people know here today that you had a big, huge part in the starting of VANNtastic, and the push that you gave me was unbelievable. So I feel like it's only fair that I introduce you to the community and, to let them know that you're available to help them as well. I just wasn't real sure about you when I first met you, but my husband and I had a couple of meetings with you, and you have developed a real friendship with Scott now, too. And, I just want people to understand that you're not just a business consultant slash coach. You are a good, good friend. And it all started from the first time we started talking about hiring you to, help with this fantastic idea. I'll be forever grateful because you really brought ideas to me that I wasn't even thinking about. From, what camera am I going to use? So that's pretty awesome when you think that you literally started as a link that I reached through to now we do vacations together.
Right. And it's not 20 years. Like it's like you're saying, maybe a little more than 2 years. So a lot of growth in our relationship and of course your business in a very short time. But I think obviously a lot of that is you. Like I can only give someone the playbook and the clarity and the roadmap so much, but you took it and you did everything and you went above and beyond. So of course it's a two-way street as well. So you're like the dream perfect client. So I definitely have to mention that as well. But I think when I've been doing this for almost 9 years, and when I started my business, I was 18. I was out of high school. I had no connections. My dad wasn't in this industry. I had no money. I sold my little stick shift car to fund this business. So I had maybe 3 or 4 thousand bucks to my name at that point. But I had no idea about like squat, like what an LLC was, marketing, sales, follow up, nothing, right? So I learned from that experience by trial and error. But again, I was 18. I didn't have a mortgage. It didn't need to work right away or even in a year or two. I was able to figure it out with time. So what I do for people now is I help them avoid that. Because yes, it's a great story to tell now, but I went through a lot of pain, lost a lot of opportunity cost, and just made avoidable mistakes along the way that again they're avoidable. Obviously in business you're going to learn by doing it, by actually taking action, but there's a lot of things that I could have again avoided if I had a coach, if I had a mentor that was here and I was starting here. They've already done it themselves, so they can help me grow 10 times faster, right? And I think it's like if you're starting a business, you have a goal of a revenue target, income goal, or I want to grow my business so I can pay off my parents' house. Like we all have these different targets and different goals, but I think people then don't know the roadmap on how do they get there. It's like going in the car, you just start driving to Disneyland, but you don't know what exit am I supposed to take, what highway am I supposed to go on, and like you feel like you're busy, but you're not productively getting towards the target. So that's why when I work with a client like you, I say, here's the roadmap, YouTube, marketing, like that's the vision. But then here's the one little step I want you to do today. Like
Mhm.
just do that because that helps get the overwhelm out of the picture. Because like I said, most people, they have this big goal and they're overwhelmed by all the things that they should be doing. They watch videos, they read books, and then like they just don't know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, which leads to inaction
Right.
and which leads to no results. But when I work with a client, it's again like the little micro steps on a day to day basis to where, again, maybe 6 months from now, they don't feel like they're busy working 70 hours a week, but they're like, wow, I feel like I'm making real progress because I'm doing something. I'm moving on to the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing. So, would you agree with that? Like, how did you feel that initial period was? Because I think when people start a business, it's still going to be overwhelming, even with someone like me. But what was that initial 6 months like?
So the very beginning was I just didn't think it was possible. I
Hmm.
didn't, I knew my idea was to work in my area. Never considered YouTube. But you kept pushing that. You kept saying, no, you need to make videos. And I was telling my husband, I'm like, this guy, he's a dreamer. This is not going to happen.
Right.
So I think that with you giving me the ideas of YouTube and how to get that started, I had no idea how to get a YouTube video up. Literally started from uh, no idea of what I was doing. And I think that, as you kept pushing these ideas and I would just, take baby steps into, okay, I'm going to do this. I mean, go back and look at my first videos if you don't believe me. I literally was reluctant, wasn't sure about this at all, knew it wasn't going to work. So, I had all of the negative feelings, but you kept, sending me texts. Hey, did you get that video done today? Hey, did you send that to me and let me check that out? So, from the very first, your encouragement and really harassment about, hey, you need to, let's do this, let me see something. And I just, I started taking those baby steps and it got easier and easier because I realized, wait a minute, he's answering my text when I send them, he's answering my questions when I need it. That was one thing that, I still respect about you is if I have a question, I can send you a text or an email, and within minutes, usually, I will get a response. And that blows my mind because anybody watching this knows there are so many scammers out there, it's not even funny. And you think you hire, and I've hired them. I know. I've hired them since I met you to do different things. And they totally drop the ball. They don't respond. They give you recordings to watch. And I hate that. With you, it's been real life, almost real time answers, and people need to understand that that is the business you run, that you don't hand them off to a recording or to a link or to, anything that makes them feel alienated. You don't isolate people. I can't scream that enough. I don't even know what you charge, and I don't care what you charge, but I do promise you this, that if I needed something and you were going to charge me to do that again, I would pay whatever just because I've had the experience and I know that you're the real deal. So that's why I wanted to bring you on here today. Just a little short video to let people know that if you have an idea about a business, if you're stuck somewhere in your current business, this guy not only has helped me, like I said, with my cameras, with the computer I needed, and you didn't like say, hey, you need to go out and buy this $4,000 camera. You said you only need your iPhone. And when you said that, I was like, what? So we started out on the basics. And the thing is I still don't have an expensive setup here. I still am running on basics and it's happening. And there's not a lot of cost in the business side. The cost was hiring you maybe to get me started, but that has totally compounded into uh, wealth that I never dreamed was possible for myself. So, that initial hiring fee there, I mean, that's been paid back and paid back and paid back more than I ever dreamed was possible. So, people, if you're looking for that startup, somebody that can really help push you, Alex, I just have to tell everybody, you have been a complete. I'm trying to put words to the type of person that you are, but you're the most real person that I have ever met in my life, I do believe.
Wow. I
Yeah,
really appreciate that.
the
No, thank you.
interview, I brought this up earlier, but the interview you did with Stephen Gardner, if you haven't seen that video, you have to go watch that because you've got two real men talking. We're not talking about somebody that's you know such a celebrity that he's lost his place and who he is in the world. These guys have their feet on the ground, and when you hear how even Stephen Gardner built his business, it's basics. It's with Alex. It's with this encouragement. It's with work. And people need to understand that any idea you have, you can make it happen. You can, and people don't realize that. I mean, I think that you really bring the realism behind anybody can do anything they want to do in their business if they'll just get up and get started. I think it's awesome.
No, I love you, Christy. No, thank you so much. No, I really appreciate that. And no, I think, like you're saying, it's really simple, not easy, but it is simple. And you mentioned recordings and things like that. I think it's because, a lot of other, programs, and there's other great people in this industry as well. It's just a lot of the time they try to create a one size fits all solution for people that have individual problems.
Hmm.
Like you're different than another client of mine. You're different than Steven. He's different than me. I'm different than somebody else. So it's very just illogical for somebody to say, watch these videos and they're going to solve your business problems and make it all happen. But you've run into issues that are unique to you. Like you said, my first coaching call was, hey, use your iPhone and buy this $20 lighting from Amazon. And maybe our 100th call was, hey, we have a virtual event with 500 people. Like, let's figure out how that's going to work. Or like, we have
Right.
an in-person conference. How is that going to go? And it's all went really well because again, it's just step by step, simple basics. But again, you have your offer, who you're working with, who's your ideal customer. You have your marketing, you have your sales, you have the over delivering for your customers. And then there's really not much more to business than those four systems. So it's really, how do we personalize somebody and their goal? And how do we personalize how are those systems set up and how are they going to function? If you break it down like that, again, anybody can do this on their own. It's just they're going to grow faster, again, by working with someone like me or me, by helping them avoid this gap of avoidable mistakes, where again, you probably got 20 years of results in a little more than 2 years because you just got the good stuff from day one. You didn't have to waste time. Like imagine, like you said, if you didn't do YouTube, maybe in 10 years you would have, or maybe the opportunity would have, maybe YouTube is not going to be around like it is today,
Yeah.
And so I think when you go to a funeral home or like a graveyard, you see all these, different tombstones and things like that. And, you have a lot of people that had $1 million idea, but very few of those people ever had that business happen because they didn't take action. And like you said, they made it over complicated, too complex. They watched a bunch of videos and recordings, and like they never did the work. They never kept it simple. And that's why, again, all of us in our life have that potential. We just need to keep it simple and just do the work.
That's it. That's
Mhm.
it. If I could say anything to anybody listening that has ever had any idea that they want to go out on their own, be an entrepreneur or whatever, it is simple. And
Mhm.
that has been opened up to me. I didn't realize. I thought, the Donald Trumps of the world are killing themselves out there, this, and this. The most successful man I've ever known in my entire lifetime or heard about. And it's work. It's just simple. And you can, it's just getting the idea in your head that you can do it, no matter who you are. You can make it happen if you have the right tools and the right people in place. And no, you don't need to start with $1 million from your daddy. You can start right where you're at. Just like I did, just like did. And the idea is people don't get that because they like, oh, I'm in this secretarial position and I'm never going to be able to, go above that. But that is so untrue. I, of course, give glory to God because I know He has had the favor of just everything has fallen all over the channel. I'll always forever know that, the good Lord had His hand in it. But, connecting me to people like you that want to help people to build, that's all you have ever asked for me is effort. And you have been right there by my side, behind me, pushing me. People need that, Alex. And, you didn't request that we do this interview together. I wrote to you. I'm like, hey, let's get a video together because people need to know who you are and what you do, because you are really just spectacular when it comes to being a human being on earth that just wants to see people grow. I want to see people grow. I want to see them get out of the financial turmoil that they're in. You want to help them build that dream business that they never even thought was possible, just like with me. And I'll be forever grateful. So, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing with us a minute.
No, you're the best. I need to just have a video of you talking about me. That's my homepage on my website. It'll be like, oh my gosh, anybody that goes there, they're like, okay, if she thinks that, then I'm good to go because you're super genuine. You're extremely authentic. And like you've said in certain videos, you're like, oh, I worked with this other guy and like it just didn't work, And like you're totally like not for sale, totally authentic. So if you really believe something, your audience really listens. And so, no, I love you guys, and I really appreciate the video and the opportunity to chat with your audience. And I'm sure we'll have a link somewhere down below where they can, go on my website, learn more about me, and they can reach out for a free consultation. And yeah, I'm sure I'll see you in a few weeks.
It is my pleasure. And guys, if you have any interest with working with Alex, but you have questions, email me. I will be glad to talk to you about Alex. If you contact Alex directly and you want to talk to me after speaking to him, Alex will connect with me and we'll get hooked up. So I'm telling you though, this guy is unbelievable. And I just wanted to share him today. So I hope that, if you have the idea of some kind of business, at least give him a call, have a consultation. Those are free. He just wants to help you any way he can in building that business. And I think you're going to be super impressed with what he can do. So thank you so much for watching today. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I look at the YouTube channel every day. I appreciate you guys. I see the feedback. I see the wonderful comments. That is so inspiring to me. So thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you in the next video. Good. All right.
Thank you. That was so amazing. That was great. I appreciate it.
I mean, I just wanted to do that because I told Scott the other day, I'm like, I have got to. You guys have a great
Hold on a
day.
minute.
I will see you in the next video. Okay. I wish I knew what I was doing all this.
Thank you. That was so amazing. That was Ah, no, that was, yeah, I appreciate it because, yeah, I think, I think people maybe get intimidated. Like sometimes people tell me, like, oh, you're going to charge me like 80 grand. I'm like, 80 grand? Like, what do I look like? Like, I think they just see my website and my Instagram maybe and my YouTube and they're just like, I can't afford you. I'm like, I mean, how do you know? I mean,
Yeah.
we'll figure something out?
No, I don't think that, I don't know what you're actually charging or how you charge,
Yeah,
but
not much more than what you pay. Like, especially if somebody's coming from you and like, they're I could tell they're like more still figuring out their finances. I'm not trying to like strap them. I'd rather be like, hey, pay what Christy paid, and then when you're satisfied, pay the rest. Like in some
yeah.
cases. So it just depends on the situation. But yeah, a lot of the time they're just starting their business, they're getting going. So I try to just work out a plan that, it just works for them.
Well, I think that if I can encourage people that it's going to work. I mean,
Mm.
I just really feel that now. Call me, what do you call me? Like a hopeless romantic. But when it comes to work, that
Mm.
is just anybody can do it. I mean,
Yeah.
I just really feel like that if you really want it and you start going for it, that you're going to get it.
Mm.
And I was thinking yesterday, VANNtastic is exactly what I dreamed it to be, where I'm working one on one with people and really getting involved in lives. I see that, and I've worked with, we literally, a lady from Indiana, we literally cried through her
Mm.
whole inter or one-on-one because she's having such a tough time right now and she's not in the Lord and she needs to figure all that out. So I feel like that it's a ministry on top of really, helping people with their finances, and it's exactly what I envisioned I wanted to do with my life. Um, I don't know where it goes from here, but it's like I'm so fulfilled that I literally told Scott and the girls the other day, I said, I could literally die right now and feel like I've done
Mm.
everything I was put on the earth to do. So
Mm.
it's not just the job. I mean, this
Right.
is a dream come true. So for me not to, put the idea out there that you would be able to push somebody to start that, they need to. I mean, I didn't even realize how big mine could go and that I could have exactly what I wanted. But
Right. I
I
think that's a
am.
lot of people like that's what stops them. Even like you kind of were like, I don't know. Like it's
Yeah.
just when you first started, like a lot of people just like they truly don't think it's possible.
Oh.
And I think even if they have the money, that's where sometimes I'm like, well, let me know in a few months, like I don't push hard because sometimes if they just don't believe it, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're just gonna come in like and like look for negatives like because they're just not committed. They don't really believe it's possible. So I
Right.
think like you're saying, it's great that you shared that we started from the beginning because I think that'll let people put their guard down, like, okay, like I'm a beginner. I'm just starting out. I'm figuring out my business because it'll let them know that they're in the right place.
I think I'm going to go on now and do a live and
Mm-hmm.
back up where this video is going to be coming out, so they'll be looking for it. And then let's just see if we can, how far we can push you in the month of August, so that when, even the 3-day webinar comes up, that maybe more will jump on to see you there.
Oh yeah.
And,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of, I don't know what I'm doing, Alex. I have no idea what I'm doing. When I get these inspirational moments of I need to do this, I've learned to
Yeah.
jump because, the Lord's working on something. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're at. So anyway, okay. I guess I'll let you go.